So it was my birthday week and I went to Staples and picked up a few things. So the first thing I ended up getting were these Avery labels. There's another color, but I couldn't find it. I don't know. It fell through the cracks somehow. Anyway, but I like these because they're smaller than the Avery labels I normally see at my Office Depot and at Walmart. And I think they'd be a perfect size, kind of like for the pocket, because they're just so much smaller. And I don't have to round the corners if I cut down the other ones. So I got some of those. I ended up getting a pack of these. And there's another section that I already took off and put in other places. But there's a lot of orange. Love, love, love Post-its of all sizes. And then I picked up some of these. These are this is a Staples brand, and it's for like a binder. I, of course, or maybe these are actually the discs, I think. Does it say on here? No, but I'm pretty sure they're for the discs. But I thought that these would be awesome to use in my traveler's notebooks and, you know, just anywhere in general. Very nice pastel colors, except for these ones, which are a little darker, but they're still very light. So I appreciate them. This one's my favorite. And I picked up these ones. Now, certainly these are going to be too wide. I don't think that I'm going to cut these down. Maybe I'll just carry these in a folder that I have that's always with me. It's like my writing editing folder. That way I always have Post-its with me and then I don't have to cut them down. Plus I can stick other things on this side, which is awesome. This, which I thought was really cute for $1. And you can just, you know, put like Post-its or whatever you want in it, and it has a little bit of a zipper. You can put a few pens in there. It doesn't open very wide, but it's made out of plastic, and I just thought it was so cute. I had to have it. This was like a total impulse buy. I also picked up some scissors because I keep losing them, and they were just some inexpensive ones, so I picked them up. And some of these Staple brand bookmarks for my niece. They were only $1, so I was like, why not? And I did pick up some, maybe I'll find them as I'm talking. I picked up some Martha Stewart adhesive tabs. If I can't find it, I'll just, like, you know, add a picture in somewhere. But these were really cool, and they're like these sticker tabs, but they're like made out of a nice thick cardstock, so I think that they'll last for a while. And I also liked them because I thought they would look really great in some of these journals that I bought from Staples. So this is a Moleskine. I don't know if you can see that. There it is. And I'm not sure about the size. Let me see if it said. I don't know if I kept... Yeah. Here it is. So there you go. Here's a size. I don't know if that is A4 or not. Okay, so this is my Rhodia dot grid is in here. This is an A5 size. And so it's much taller and wider, so I'm gonna assume that's an A4. I don't know why I thought A4 was even bigger than this. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Guys, let me know down below. Is that the equivalent of an A4? Why doesn't it just say A4? So confusing. Anyway, these were on sale. I'm assuming that these are probably around $25, and they were on sale for $9. So of course I had to pick it up, and it's just your, you know, standard grid notebook by Moleskine. It's not numbered or anything, but it's always great for taking notes and what have you. And it's a soft cover, and you know how much I love my soft covers. So I was like, yes, I am taking you. And then they had these Moleskines, and this one was $8. And I saw someone probably a couple years ago use this for planning and journaling, and I really liked what she had done with it. So let me show you what it looks like inside. And this, unfortunately, is a hardcover, but you know, whatever. For $7, I was like, yeah, you're going home with me. So this one has an index or a contents. And you can go ahead and write down every single page in here because they are numbered. And then you get project planning, which I think is pretty cool. This is probably where I'd put my list of videos that I'm making and what day I made them and any notes I needed. And then you get personal goals, so you can just go ahead and write. And I don't know if you can tell because the lighting is kind of rough here, but this whole column here is detached from this column here. And so, yeah, you can definitely set some goals and then maybe some dates for those goals. And then this says group goals, which is the same setup as the personal. But I mean, I don't know exactly what group goals means. Maybe they're talking about family goals, and they didn't want to say family. I don't know. Or like work group goals. I don't know. And then it goes into note pages right here. So they give you a lined one and a blank one to do with as you will. Then you turn to your first page. So these little icons here are meant to be used, I believe, with the Moleskine like pen. I don't know what it's called, but I had a notebook that was similar to this. It wasn't the same layout, and the paper felt really like glossy. I don't even know how to explain it. This one just feels like regular Moleskine paper. And it had like a bunch of tiny little dots all over it. So it was kind of like Evernote. They have those like specific Evernote books that have like those tiny dots, and it makes it easier to upload a picture, I guess. Anyway, so these are just like little indicators to help catalog stuff when you have the pen, but I don't know that they even make that pen anymore. It was like $200 or $150. It was expensive when it first came out. And so I didn't actually buy the pen with my book. I just got the book on sale when my Hastings was closing. So basically what she did, she wasn't really using the pen. She used this to highlight anything she wanted during the day. I'll pick it up so you can see it a little closer. Anything she wanted to highlight throughout the day, she wrote here. Then off to the side, there's a whole column here. And right here is where she'd put her to-dos for the day. And then she would do journaling right here. And I thought it was just really cool how it was already separated for you. It's undated. So if you are like me and you tend to skip a few days and sometimes a whole week, this is really great. Plus the pages are still numbered, so that is super helpful. Yeah, so I thought, well, maybe this is something I would like to do for One Book July, because we only have a week until One Book July is here. I feel like I wasn't prepared at all for June. So much was happening all at once. I just can't even believe that June is almost over. Yeah, so this is something I might use. I'm not entirely sure. Do any of you have this specific notebook? It's part of the Pro Collection. If you do, how do you use it? Do you kind of use it how the woman I saw used it? In the back here, they have some to-dos, and they have detachable pages, and the rivet is like in the center of the page, so you can go ahead and rip out one list at a time, which is kind of cool. And this side over here is attachable. 1, 2, 3, 4 of those. And then you get some stickers here in the back, and they're just tabs. These do not feel like cardstock at all, and they're just, you know, pretty flimsy, but you know, if you wanted to, you could certainly use these. Or sometimes I buy these for just like little presents, just hi, how are you presents, or an add-on to a present. These are always really, really great. So One Book July is basically kind of like a reset where you can go back to basics and, you know, really work on your planning and figure out what works for you. A couple of years ago, they added on One Project July, which was really great. So for those people who are always in one book all year round, or found that they could never be in one book all year round, could just focus on one project for the entire month of July. And that's what I did last year. I took a bunch of inserts that I had that I'd used maybe a few times or not at all, and I tried out each insert each week, and some of them were monthlies, and then I went to weeklies, then I went to dailies, and I can't remember what the last one I did was, but it helped me figure out some things, and I will put a link to that video, either, you know, flash it on the screen or link it down below or at the end of this video, so you can check that out if you want to see more about that. I also did one on a planner hack, so if you want a planner hack on how to get more inserts into a traveler's notebook, I basically talked about different sizes and thinner inserts that you can use. I will put that video somewhere as well. Okay, so I've been dreaming about the pocket for a while, and what I decided to do was print out this little insert by Plannerpedia, and I actually printed it out in pocket size, and I'm also going to print it out later in standard size, but I ran out of paper and I couldn't remember where I put my paper, And then right before I sat down to do this video, I remembered. So I will do that later. But this is just the smaller version. This is just some vellum that I bought from, I think, Hobby Lobby. This prints in color. I will go ahead and zoom in so you can see a little better. But I only have a black and white printer. So, you know, it says monthly and daily because this is 1 month. So here's your first month, and it's undated, which is fantastic because you can go ahead and choose what month you want to use this. And if you're like me and you know that dated planners don't work for you all of the time, especially year round, maybe you just want 1 month, like One Book July, to just focus on something specific, trying to figure out something. And what I'm trying to figure out is if I can use dailies, because I feel like I really need to try. So this is about me wanting to be more productive. So, you know, dailies for me is something that I pretty much slack on. And I think if I chose to use them a little bit more, I'd be more productive. I remember when I had my A6, I did dailies in there and I felt more productive. I don't know why, but I just did. Maybe it's because even if I looked back and saw that I didn't do much, then I realized I really needed to kick ass, right? So here's your monthly. Very pretty. Very plain, so you can definitely add some washi or some doodles or whatever here and there. Down here they have a monthly tracker that fits 5 things to track, but you could also put a 6th thing here and then just like mark it off. Like if I wanted to put planks, I could just X off the days I do it. Up here you could add another thing, like if I wanted to put biking, and I could just put an X above, or you could put another one down below if you needed more space. Over here, this is how the dailies look. Now, Plannerpedia has really stepped up their game since the last time I looked on their Etsy page, or their Etsy shop rather, and I was pretty impressed. So they have several different versions, I think like 5 versions of dailies maybe, and they have the same exact ones in the pocket as they did in the standard. And this is the one that I went with because I like the idea of having times already written out for me on one side and then some notes. So this is actually a day on 2 pages. It only goes to 6 o'clock. So if you're someone who wants to do more, you could certainly add more here. They do have a version that's different than this. This one goes by 15-minute increments, whereas the other one I think goes by like, it'll have like 5 o'clock and then a blank space and then 6 o'clock. So it's, you know, like half hour. So I chose this one because if you've been following my channel, you know that I went to a nutritionist and I decided that we were going to work on a diet where I'm counting carbs. And so this gives me some space on those days when I'm eating a new meal and I'm not really sure about the carbs, that I can kind of write them down. I don't know that I could fit an entire day on here, but there might be certain meals where I just need to count it out. I might just want to do, you know, not even writing it out, but just writing 6 carbs here for something, 8 carbs there, and just adding it up and having a space for that. If you wanted to and you weren't doing a diet or worrying about what you're eating, you could certainly journal here. Maybe you're not much of a writer, but you just want to know some, you know, specific things that you did that day. So I think this is really cool. And again, the standard version is slightly different. So it's still a day on 2 pages, but it's like this is on 3/4 of the page, and at the last 1/4 of the page is just some more grid. So yeah, I'm excited to print that out. I'm sorry I didn't get it around to it, but you'll see it definitely if I use it for One Book July. So the reason why I'm printing out both isn't because I'm going to use them at the same time. I figured I wasn't sure what size I was going to go with, either a pocket or a standard. And since they're not technically dated, they're numbered. So you can start this on, you know, July 1st, July 2nd, or you could just look at them as page numbers, or you could also just take some washi and washi over this, do a whole strip if you want to, and write whatever date you want. So again, if you missed a few days, there's just like no big deal. You could just make them into something else. I also could see myself washing off like these numbers and just focusing on this to be a to-do list if I ended up missing a day. You know what I mean? So that's also an option. But I think it's really great for someone like me. I am told by my chiropractor that every 15 to 20 minutes I should get up and walk around and then sit back down if I'm going to be sitting for 2 to 3 hours, which is something I always do. to help protect my back and make sure that I can sit a little bit longer. So also what I've learned from studying is that if you study in shorter increments, you'll remember more, because basically what they say is when you study for an hour, you're only really going to remember the first thing you learned and the last thing you learned, and the middle is sort of jumbled. So if you study within 15 to 30-minute increments and take breaks in between, you're going to learn more. You're going to remember more. So that's also something that's really great if you're a student. But yeah, so I think that this will work out. I really like the idea of being able to sit here and write, you know, like at 9 o'clock, if I decide to go for an hour walk or an hour bike ride, I can just write bike across it. I don't need to write in this tiny little space. It's pretty small. I mean, my whole like thumb covers 1 hour. So if you're someone who writes really small, it might not make you totally happy. I write, you know, a decent size. So it's small, but knowing that it's a pocket size, I will make it work. I will let you guys know, but you can definitely check out Plannerpedia. I will link that down below. I am definitely going to be focusing on basically one project, and my one project is going to be my dailies. I really need to figure out a short and easy way to do dailies that I will continuously do it, because right now I've really fallen off. And even though I have a weekly planner, I basically use it for forward planning for major appointments. And then I do have my main calendar, which I mean, I do fill out, but again, it's not like daily tasks and what have you. So I'm hoping this will help me out. First video of One Book July will probably be me planning in this little insert. Now I'm not sure if I'm going to do the pocket or the standard right now, but eventually I'll come back to one or the other in a different month. And I still have this one, which I was thinking it's an A6 that I've shown you can fit back here, and it can still fit in here with 6 inserts, which is just crazy. I mean, look at that. There's absolutely no overhang. But you can see that obviously here's where the spine is, and it's just like a little bit of a hump. So if you don't mind that, you can certainly use that. This also, I should say, is pretty thick because I printed it on 24-pound paper. So, and it is a whole month of dailies on 2 pages. So yours might not be as thick if you just do it on regular, you know, 20-pound paper. But I really do hope to use my highlighters to help me, you know, get organized in here. And I just feel like 20-pound paper doesn't always hold up with the mild liners as much. I think if you own the mild liners, you know that this color is probably the one that bleeds the most. It's always the red. So I'm just gonna put a mark through here and see how that goes. So you can see, yeah, it's usually where you start and stop that you get the most bleed through. And so this is why I do the 24-pound paper, because I like to use highlighters. I need to get back to them. They've just been sitting on my shelf, and I need a thicker paper. Anything over, you know, 24 pounds, it gets really out of control thick, but hopefully that will work out. There's that. Okay. So I might not end up using this right now. Just sticking with this one on the go, staying really light and simple. If not, I will go ahead and I'll probably give this one a little bit of a break and use my Camel for a while. But right now, this is my journal, and I will be finished with it by the end of June. So I think that, yeah, I will only have this guy left, which is going to be my new writing journal. And then I will have my dailies. And I don't know that I need more than that. We'll see how it goes. And plus, if I go ahead and go to a standard instead of a pocket, I'll have more space in here for tracking food and maybe a little bit of journaling if I do 2 pages, you know. So like, let me show you in here. I'll, you know, track my schedule for the day, try to get it down, and then over here track my food on half the page, and on the bottom half do some just, you know, mundane journaling. The other thing about this is, like I said, it only goes until 6 o'clock, but for me, I still struggle getting my morning down. As somebody who has anxiety disorder, I do have trouble falling asleep sometimes. Sometimes I'm just laying there for hours saying, please sleep, please sleep. Then I end up going to bed and not waking up until 10 o'clock. And, you know, most of your morning is already gone. So trying to get on a schedule where I can get my morning down is still something I have tried to do every year for like the past 3 years. Maybe this will be the year that it sticks, because I'm only going to be focusing on dailies the most. And I certainly don't want to worry about anything past 6 o'clock, because in my mind, if I work hard from, you know, here to maybe like 3 o'clock, the rest of the day for me is mine. It's free. So if I cook dinner and I choose to spend time doing that, or I choose to sit down and watch a movie or YouTube, cool. But this part up to 3 really needs to be structured. I mean, no YouTube, Sylvia, until after 3 o'clock. Yeah, I really need to get on this because the summer is moving fast. All right. So what are you guys using for one book July? Are you sizing down for the summer? You know, are you thinking about doing one project? I mean, technically to me, because I mean, I still use this guy for like forward planning and stuff. And I also have my writing journal, which I'm not really writing in a lot because I'm editing. And so most of the rewriting I'm doing or adding extra chapters or something like that is more in the computer than it is in here. I might take some notes or whatever, but this is essentially going to be done by the end of summer. So that would be a total lie if I said I was in one book. I'm really not. So I'm just going to focus on the one project, and my one project is going to be dailies. I'm hoping that for the whole month I will stay in here. But if I don't stay in this insert, whether it's this size or that size, I might give, you know, this a go of just blank pages. I also have a blank square insert in here that I could certainly use. And I do have this dot grid one as well. So I don't know. I have 1 week to figure it out. So make sure that you tune in to One Book July. And I'll try to have that video up on July 1st. No promises, but you know, somewhere within that first week, I will have my video on what I chose, and I can't wait to watch all of yours. And maybe if you're not a YouTuber, your One Book July project can be, you know, starting your YouTube channel, and I'd love to see you. So if that happens, definitely let me know in the comments below and I will check out your channel. All right, so don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I hope this was helpful. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.